You cannot sit in London or in DC or in New York and think that you're going to solve the Africans' problems. You can't save people. How many people are now jobless just because of the USAID structural funding? Okay? People are being laid out, right? We have the solutions. So we have over 50,000 members of SHOFCO. If you are under the age of 35, you get a loan 6% interest. Africa will rise if we invest in our people.
Welcome to Sustainably Speaking Africa, a podcast about reshaping narratives around sustainability and climate action in Africa. This podcast is brought to you by the Kenya Climate Innovation Centre and is made at Semabox. Join us for this and other episodes as we talk to industry leaders, frontline communities, and the innovators who are accelerating the progress towards a greener, sustainable future.
Thank you very much, and most welcome to this particular episode of Sustainably Speaking Africa, where we seek to amplify African narratives of change. We're having a conversation today with a man that needs no introduction, Kennedy Odede, CEO and founder of SHOFCO. Yes. Thank you so much for finding the time to join us. We are having this conversation on the sidelines of Africa Exchange, and we are talking money, we are talking markets, we are talking mindsets. And to basically just start this conversation, what is it that Africa must build for itself now? You know, as all development models weaken and new possibilities emerge from your perspective.
So if you ask, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Yes, and then at the same time, if you ask me that question, what is lacking in Africa? Because you think about Africa, we are blessed with many things, you know. But I'd say one thing is our mindset. We have to change how we think. Mm-hmm. And we can't blame ourselves. This comes from colonizations, you know, whereby you are told you are nothing. So that's why you are seeing that kind of challenge you're facing. And if you talk about development, the way the world is going, you saw what happened with the USAID.
Yes.
It means that we cannot rely on other people again. We have to rely on ourselves. And to do that, we have to build our own things. We have to work on issues that my mother used to me something interesting, that whoever wears the shoes knows exactly why it's pinching.
Yes.
So if issues in Africa want to solve them, it has to be solved by the Africans. Yes.
Fantastic. I mean, you come into this from a point of lived experience. Yes. You're not an outsider looking inwards. You've lived the challenges that we're talking about and gotten to the point of addressing some of those challenges. So when people talk about development, what does that uniquely mean to you, rather than just the generic term or understanding of development in the African context?
So we talk about development. We talk about the well-being of people, right? People need clean water. Some people good healthcare, you know. And the word development is not being used in the Western world. Why? There is no much gaps because the government have taken that part of work. But in our continent, so in our country, you see it's being used a lot because we are behind, right? But the challenge is that, yes, it's being discussed, decisions are being made from outside. You see, that's become a challenge. And that's why when I started SHOFCO, I was talking about it, somebody who have lived the experience. Yeah. I started SHOFCO in Kibera, one of the largest informal settlement. Yeah. I realized that there are many development partners, people who talk about who are not doing anything really. They don't understand us, right? And that's why I came with the idea, like, if we come together as a community, we can solve our own problem. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how to write a proposal, I would lie to you, but I knew one thing. We, the people in the community, we know our own solutions. Yeah. And does SHOFCO work by itself? No. We have partners. We work with Rockefeller Foundation, we work with SIF, we work with big organizations, big foundation. But the idea is that we are the center, is our approach. Mm-hmm. You support our ideas. Mm-hmm. Where normally people are going to beg or be like, hey, whatever you want, we'll do. No. Mm-hmm. And for us to really have a big impact, we have to start changing that, right? We have to design right? If you think about it, we have to design our own way so that we know the outcomes.
Yeah.
You cannot sit in London or in DC or in New York and think that you're going to solve the Africans' problems.
Yeah.
No, that's called, you can't save people. Right?
Yeah.
So I believe in that. So, and the challenge we face also is that how are we using our own data matrix? I remember when I was starting SHOFCO, I was really scared of the word data in matrix. Why? Because it was being projected by the development actors who are outside the continent. So we didn't own it. By the moment we own it, I see a lot of changes, So what do we want? What do you want to do? Because we have the solution. Look around. You see how many innovators we have in our communities, in our country, but they lack funding. Right? And again, it's mindset. You'll see some of our wealthy people are not investing in our own things. Kenya is now moving to the middle economy, right?
Yeah.
But what are we doing for our community? Yeah. And that's going to be a big, big challenge. So now what we have to focus on is it's happening. I call it development is changing.
Yeah.
Development is changing, So we have to go back to community-based organizations, to local-led organizations, and they have to come with the solution.
Yeah.
Sustainability.
Yeah.
What was the future? I remember when the USAID stopped, it was so sad. We did not get money from the US government, but we have clinics in Madare and Kibera. More people are coming for treatment. Why? Because the government also that are going for are no longer working, right? So you see, so we are being affected. So we have to start thinking ahead as Africans, how can we survive without outside funding? But how can we partner with them in a sustainable way? That's what something I've really been preaching.
You make a very good point, and it brings me to the question. When you talk about locally led kind of development and initiatives, starting in Kibera, rather than in a boardroom somewhere in London or New York, what should that look like? An initiative, a development initiative, or an intervention, starting from grassroots level rather than from boardroom somewhere, because you talk about still bridging that gap of cooperation with some of these global actors and all that. What must that look like? And is locally led development just a far-fetched word, or is something that you are seeing in action already?
People think we did something unique. If you ask me the truth, I don't think what we did was nothing unique, honestly. We are African. Let's start from Kibera. Let's start in Oma Bay. Let's start in Sia County. What is happening?
Yeah.
Communities to come together when there was a problem. We sat down to figure out the solution happening. That's the real original of Africans. You see, many years ago, people sit under the tree.
Yeah.
To do what? To solve the problem. But what happened? Our way was seen as primitive. Nobody will tell you this. Another, you will see most of the local actors, the grassroots organizations, will not get funding. Because the way it's designed is not for them. Okay? So it's for NGOs who mostly come from global north.
Yeah.
Right? So it was a tough for me. I won't lie to you. It was really, really, really tough. Because they also have their own language. And they don't care. What they care, you have to act like them. So it's a game. So those who are playing the game are the ones getting the funding. Will a villager in Siaya who's doing an amazing work on health get any money? No. Because it's a game.
Yeah.
But what we did, and I really am glad I did that, I knew that was a challenge. I knew that from the beginning. I knew as I was starting this thing, it's going to be a tough thing. But we have to have a proven concept. We have to prove something.
Yeah.
So with no funding, we organize ourselves. And I keep preaching like, we know our own problems, So I'll say that we are heading towards the right direction, if you ask me. Two things have happened recently. One is COVID. During COVID. What happened during COVID? The INGOs left the country.
Yeah.
Across Africa. Remember this. Who are helping people locally are these local organizations.
Yeah.
So that's the solution, right?
Yeah.
Again, something happening now. How many people are now jobless just because of the USAID stopped funding? So it's gone. They're jobless. Organizations are dying. Okay? People are being laid out, right?
Yeah.
Strong grassroots organizations are still there. I walk around and see any organization being like, oh, because there's no American government money coming to Kenya, we are not, no. But the INGOs are stopped. They are not doing their programs anymore, most of them. So this is a good thing for us to be like, you see, our big partners outside in the global north, if you really care about global south, if you really care about Africa, if you really care about Kenya, look, you have to start working with these grassroots. Yeah. And it's happening in every corner. Also, I told that to the government, you have to work with these CBOs to have some change, because they are on the ground. So I think through the data, they have seen that what happened if you don't work with locals directly. Yeah. so the question is that how do we build on that?
Yeah.
That's why we are here also, to be like, look, during COVID, what happened? SHOFCO was there.
Yeah.
While other big organizations were out, right? So it is important to invest in local-led organizations.
Absolutely. And I mean, when you mention that, I think about the role that government needs to play in that entire matrix. We've seen instances where, health programs that were funded by USAID, when they ended, some governments did not have data on their own populations. And it speaks to a gap, between government and all these other organizations and even international partners.
Yeah.
What active role do you think government needs to play more? Policymakers need to know more about the local context and the nuances in communities, because you realize that it's not just about the outsiders not understanding the local context, but sometimes it's our own governments that do not properly understand and design policies that cannot really meet reality.
It's true. I've seen this happen in other countries. In the global north, you will see the government working with, for example, homelessness.
Yeah.
So they'll work with the homeless organizations who really knows that work better. So to cut cost, they fund them. I see that in the States. In South Africa, the same thing, But the big issue we are facing, I won't go deep there, but in our issue, something is corruption. Because it cut us short of those things. So nobody want to do that.
Yeah.
If I know SHOFCO is running health clinics in Kibera, as a government, can I just come build my budget, be like, hey, do this thing, man, right? Let's work together on this. I don't have to hire new people, whatever. You will get your grant, do it. Because but they will do that. Because there's no procurement. There is no this, no? So that is one of the biggest challenge. Another thing I see is that there are many people doing amazing work in Kenya, in Africa, but there's no unity. That's why there's something happening here called the GSC, a Global Alliance, that is working with I heard about it.
Yeah.
We'll see it tomorrow here.
Yeah.
So the community organization has to come together strongly and work. They are powerful. Because if you go to any village, any slum, any community, you will find a woman doing something, a youth doing something.
Yeah.
So if they can come together and start changing policies, I think they're powerful. Like, I think that's the thing we have to really kind of focus on,
Sounds like you're very optimistic about Africa's prospects.
Yes, I really have hope for Africa. I think there's a future. Look at the medium age, 20 something, right? So, and when I was a kid, I was taught not to question your senior or government. You used to be big man, but I'm kubwa. Yes, look at this Gen Z. They're like, you want to know this, So that's for me is a new thing. And I think that's what this country going to change. Then these people, because of the information they have, I remember during my younger days, you don't know, somebody stole, but I can't see their car. I can't see their house. Social media, pop. Look at the shoe that Kennedy is wearing. Look at what this person is wearing. We know your salary. So I think Africa really has the future. I think so. We just need to keep on because the youth. My hope is the youth.
How do we build, that critical mass of change makers and believers? Because you started by mentioning the issue about mindset, which really need to shift, not just globally, but amongst Africans ourselves. What prospects do you see there in terms of, looking within and having that radical mindset shift?
Honestly, I'm a little bit, I won't lie to you, I'm a little bit crazy. If you really take my brain, I think we could have problems even in this country. I'm honest with you. Let's start. Who are the most powerful people in the communities? The CBOs.
Yeah.
Who do you elect? MCA. MCA come from where? So if Kenyans, I love my country, but I feel we are not tired enough. Okay? You are not pushed on the wall.
Yeah.
For me to start SHOFCO, I was pushed on the wall. I felt like, right? I have to do something because we will be caring about our community. Do you know your MCA? Who are the players here? What do you want? Just think about every community in Nairobi alone, okay? Making sure that they're electing the right leaders who have their interest and going to the office, which means now our Nairobi Parliament or Nairobi County Assembly will be the people who will bring more resources to the ground.
Yeah.
But what happened now? We are crying, oh, life is hard, but we're not taking initiative. My strength is organizing. Right? You know about SHOFCO network.
Yes.
We have almost 4 million across Kenya.
Yes.
Message like, please organize yourself. I didn't say political, no. To solve your own problems on the ground. Why do you wait, right? So if we do that, that's how it will happen. And that's why I think that the future is Africa. But when we wake up, when we know we are, and if you think about it, growing up in a slum, one thing I got was you are powerless because you are poor. And I believed it. I believed it until I started searching. And I met people like Marcus Garvey, who also believe in Africa. And I started reading these books. And I'm like, wow, this is through colonial system. That's why we behave like this. But if I change my life, I change somebody else's life, we start seeing differently. There's something, our minds have been really made to believe you are weak. The moment that thing is gone, you go far. So I started working with women, youth in Kibera, and right now we're working in 35 counties in this country, in Kenya, right? So I believe that is why I believe that the growth organization should also come together. What is the main thing they're working on? Otherwise, we'll keep on crying. But again, the future is hopeful.
The future is hopeful.
Yes.
You have radically scaled. You've talked about a huge network across the country. And my question is, how do you scale to that level without, losing or missing the original idea, thought process, and philosophy? What has been your experience as SHOFCO to keep that replicated across the different networks and across the communities that you're now working with across Kenya?
What makes me happy?
Yeah.
With SHOFCO, when I go to Nyeri.
Yes.
Okay? And I see the way they organize there, I'm like, wow. The same sun. And I go to Homa Bay.
Yes.
I'm like, wow. It has gone beyond tribalism. Right? So what is the secret? It is, we don't go to the communities. People reach out to us. We create a story that is inspiring. The way I used to read about Dr. King, I used to read about Marcus Garvey. There's something happening now where people read about SHOFCO. Like, hey, I want to work with SHOFCO. I want to be part in my community. I want to be part of the solution. So wherever you work to now, if you go, you see a community center. Tiny. Not as really, is those people coming to us and be like, hey, can we be part of this franchise called Sun and SHOFCO? We are doing farming in Kakamega. We want to be part of this. We are looking for funding. We have listen, if you think about SHOFCO, so really make me hope of resiliency and solutions. We have the solutions.
Yeah.
Number one, right now we have over 50,000 members of SHOFCO SACCO. If you are under the age of 35, you get a loan 6% interest. So what is poverty? Poverty for me is a mindset. You see? Poverty is a mindset. If we all come together, we solve our problems. Believe me. And if you think of Nairobi, with how many population in Nairobi? Is it 4 or 5?
Yeah, around there.
60% live in informal
settlements.
So they have the power, right? So if they can really organize themselves. So right now, for me, the issue of looking for money, I'm like, guys, no, there's not enough money for that SACCO. It's the people coming together and putting. In the slum place where we live, the issue of funeral is a big deal. When you lose somebody, you take them to Uyama, committed to create their own money. And they're taking the body. So what is the problem? So I think that's why I believe in local solutions. But this kind of thing we are doing cannot be created or designed in London.
Yeah. It has to be done here.
And that's why we also believe in having partnership. They fund local designed solution. I'm not being radical saying that.
Yeah.
We don't want you. No. We have to work together.
You're just being generous with the truth. Eh?
Yes, you have to work together, but you can't bring your ideas.
Yeah.
It's for me, in your house, make me sad when people used to come to Kibera with solutions. They never worked.
Yeah.
I live there. I know what we need to do. Just listen. How can I help you? And the same thing, not only to the donors, is also to our African government.
Yeah.
You're a big car. Do you even take time to understand what's happening?
Yeah.
When you're making policies,
yeah.
are you able to listen to the ground?
Yeah.
They don't listen. Okay, that's why things happen. I'm like, oh God, who gave this policy? It could have been done better if they could listen to the challenges on the ground.
Yeah.
So my message is that it's very important to understand
local,
because the solutions are always there. If you come to Kibera, you see there's an aerial water pipe. I think you've seen it, blue, across Kibera. We give over 70,000 people water in Kibera. We're the largest water provider.
Yeah.
How that happened? Not my idea. So our pipes in Kibera were going through sewage. People get dominated. And I say, guys, what do we do in a committee hall meeting? They say, Kennedy, Ken, umaifikiria if this pipe can go up because of this sewage. I'm like, let me do that. Right now we have clean water. People think it's a crazy idea.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, from the community. So we have the solution, man.
And I just want to ping on that a bit.
Yes.
Talking about resilience, sustainability,
Yes.
and what climate action means in the informal settlements. When we see floods, when you see droughts, some of these informal settlements are the hardest hit. What does resilience look like from what you've seen and from what you've seen from organizing in these communities? What does that look like not in the language of degrees and emissions and all that, but in terms of people coming together and addressing some of these issues?
I think we have to make things simple and simpler.
Yeah.
Okay, so people don't care if you talk about climate change. I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
In the village, I go to the village a lot. I talk to youths, women, Kibera. How do we cope with what's happening?
Yeah.
Do you agree that the way rain used to rain now and before? Yes. So how do we survive? That's the resilience for me.
Yeah.
Do we still use the mabati, the iron sheet, when things are hot? No.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's more about coping.
Yeah.
And we need to invest on that resilience. It's very important on climate change, right? So, yes, before I was a baby Kennedy, we used to live by Kibera River. Not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Why? The flooding. Okay? So we have to go back to the community, and we're doing it already. That's what we say. The new way of buildings.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like you're having you're like in houses, you go to Kibera during the day, you are burning.
Mm-hmm.
And 10 years ago, 5 years ago, not like that. So things keep changing. How do we adopt with this climate change? And that's because, I hope donors know this story. We, the people in the communities, how much do we do the environment? Do we have factories?
Yeah.
No, do you have that gives a lot of, we're not America, we're not China, right? Yeah. Africa is really,
You're not responsible.
But who's suffering most? That's what makes me sad.
Africans,
Africa.
Yeah.
Okay. So now a lot of money is being spent on climate change. I got it. But I want us to, I think Rockefeller is doing that, which I'm happy for.
Yeah.
Food. What kind of seed do we use? Right?
Yeah.
So now that we have the end product of all this climate change, okay, the money should come to the people. Believe me, I'm crazy on that, but I believe it. We are the ones suffering. People's goats and chickens are dying because they are not part of. Okay, so this is very important. So how do we cope? So we have to start thinking new way of food, new way of buildings, new way of solar, right? So so I think we're doing that a lot. I think it's a moment that we have to involve the community more. And how do you get the answer? Again, talking to them like, this iron sheet can no longer work. Why? It's too much heat. So then we get the solutions that we can co-design, right? So I think it's something that is affecting the poor and the most vulnerable, climate change, and yet they have nothing to do with it. So I am asking that more investment should be done on how they can cope with this reality.
I like that perspective. I like that perspective, particularly because when we talk about climate change, usually it's just we talk about Africa as a victim, and the narrative ends there without talking about some of the things you're mentioning, which is what is the path forward? How do we not just present ourselves as the victims, but architects of the solutions, that we seek. Now, as we wrap up. These conversations, maybe just two last questions. One is, what do you see as the future for the African continent in the midst of all the tectonic shifts that we are witnessing now? Are you optimistic? Are you pessimistic? What's that one phrase that you think summarizes the path going forward?
Wow. I think we have to be prepared. We're going to go through painful, which I think also Europe went through. There's something is happening in the air. Something is happening in Africa continent, So theocrats, dictatorship, something happening. And there'll be a lot of rising up of the population.
Mm-hmm.
So watch that. Okay? I told you this. And then from there, you'll see. Because the youth are saying, enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
Our grandparents live like this. We can't live like this anymore. Okay? They want freedom. They want to be part of this cake. One day I got in trouble when I was speaking on a stage and they wanted me to say, the Africa Rising. It was a big thing. Those days. Africa Rising, Africa Rising. Then I went to the stage and I say, there were some billionaires, people making money from Africa. And I say, Africa Rising. With who? And the room was like quiet because, as you say, it's a talk.
Yeah.
Africa Rising with who? They're making money. Kibera is still Kibera.
Yeah.
Oma Bay, Siaya. What are you doing? But it's a few percentage of people making money. Yeah. And they're telling us Africa Rising. And that Africa Rising is what's bringing problems.
Mm-hmm.
Africa will rise if we invest in our people.
Mm-hmm.
If the cake is shared equally. Mm-hmm. If this cake is shared by 2%, 1%, and you are told Africa is rising, and I want our leaders to watch something happening. My friend, if you go to South Africa, what is happening now? They are eating each other.
Yeah.
You can't drive your car. You used to have a bulletproof. Okay? But there will come a time in Nairobi and Kenya mm-hmm. where the rich will not be able to enjoy their wealth. Mm-hmm. So right now, for Africa to rise, and my hope is that the business communities, what is the good society are they doing with it? Mm-hmm. Is it about you making money? How are we doing now to make everybody in Kenya to feel part of the cake? If you don't do that, you want to live in Karen, Mudaiga, wherever, and you think it's not your problem, it's like COVID. Mm-hmm. This inequality is COVID, man. It's going to affect you no matter you like it or not.
Yeah.
But we can do it if we all agree this is a disaster. The youth pack that we're seeing, the youth population coming up, it is, believe me, it is a blessing. It is a big curse. Mm-hmm. It's a blessing if we invest on them, on these young people. So that I'm optimistic and being like I'm hopeful. Why? If we do the right thing as Africa to invest in this population and fight this inequality. If we don't, accept more calamities with the youth, it's going to happen across Africa, and it's happening. Thank you.
So we are on the brink of either ruin or greatness.
You got it, ruin or greatness.
We have to choose.
You know the good thing about all this? Yeah. We have option. This is not making me kind of like, are you normal? It's an option here. We have it. Okay? We choose the right way or we sink. And we sink, everybody sink.
And this for us with an African proverb or saying that sums.
Yeah. We're African, but sometimes if you want to go far, go with
others.
Go with others.
Yeah.
But if you want to, you don't want to go far. If you are short-sighted, go alone.
Yeah.
And let me try to explain this mean. If you care only about yourself, you are going to fall. Government, leaders, it's all about you. Stealing, corrupted, you're not going to enjoy. But if you want us to go far, we can go together. And all of us will celebrate and enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Asante sana.